Fern Stickers, and I am here today to talk about how to choose a planner. And I'm going to be going through 5 questions that you can ask yourself to help you find the right planner for you. Now, because I run a planner sticker shop and I use planners, a lot of people who I know in real life will ask me things like, what planner do you use? Where can I get it? What planners do you recommend? So I've been thinking about what kind of guidance I could give to people when they're trying to figure out what planner they should use. Because the planner I use is not necessarily the right planner for everybody. So I came up with 5 questions that you can ask yourself to help you pick out the right planner to use. Now, obviously, if you are a member of the planner community or active in planner social media, you probably have already been thinking a lot about this question. And I think this video is helpful, especially if you're not a planner community kind of person. If you're someone that hasn't used a planner in a while or hasn't used one consistently and you want to be more organized next year and you're trying to figure out where to start, I think this video will be really helpful. Question 1, what do you want to keep track of in your planner? And this question is going to help you decide what kind of time span you want your planner to cover. Now, before I get into showing you some examples and talking about how your answer to this question might affect your planner choice, I just want to say I'm going to be showing you a bunch of planners from my collection in this video. Most of these planners tend to be higher end, more expensive, fancier planners because that's the kind of thing that I make stickers for. But for all of these planners, there are equivalents that you could get at Target or Walmart or Michael's or Joann's for $20 or less. So keep in mind, these are just examples. There are lots of planners available and usually lots of very affordable planners available. So let's get into this first question. So thinking about what you want to keep track of in your planner, I have here a monthly, weekly, and a daily planner. And depending on what you want to keep track of, you're going to need more or less space and more or less detail. So let's start with a monthly planner. This is the Erin Condren monthly planner. And this planner's focus is just having a monthly spread. This is the 8.5 by 11 planner, so it's huge. You have lots of space in your monthly spread. There are also some blank pages and these dashboards, but really the bread and butter is that you have a spread for each month. And this kind of a planner is great if mostly what you're going to be marking are events, because you can have your whole schedule for the month here, you can look at it, you can see what's going on. So my mother-in-law, for example, uses a monthly planner, and again, she uses a very basic one that's probably from Walmart, but she uses it to keep track of what's going on. When she's going to schedule something, she pulls that planner out and she looks to see, okay, do I have anything going on that day, and keeps track of things. So this is perfect if most of what you want to keep track of in your planner is just stuff that is going on at a pretty high level. This is the Moxie Life horizontal planner, and here you can see a weekly spread. So the thing that makes a weekly spread is that it gives you a spot to write things down for every day of the week. And when we talk about the next question, I'm going to show you different layout options for a weekly spread. But the key is here that you have more room for every week. So this is going to be if you want to get into more detail, because this is, unless you just have a ton of stuff going on, this is going to give you a place to put what events you have going on, also the things that you might want to do on a given day. If you are just using the monthly spread like I showed you, you're not going to have room for like a to-do list or putting chores. So this starts to give you some more space. So if you're going to be wanting to mark out both the things that you're doing and also some to-dos that are maybe specific to days, the weekly spread is great for that. Weekly spreads are also great for tracking habits. The Moxie Life planner is cool because it has a habit tracker built in, but you can add that to any weekly spread. So if that's also something you want to keep track of, daily habits, weekly layout is also a great way to do that. All weekly spreads are going to have some kind of area for just general stuff for the week. So you might want to keep track of like your work schedule or your workouts or a running to-do list for the week that aren't things you have to do on specific days. So a weekly layout also has room for that. So if you're trying to get a little more detailed and plan out both the things that you have planned, but also some things that you want to get done on specific days, a weekly planner is great. Then getting into even more detail, we have a daily planner. Now this is the Hobonichi cousin, and this is actually both a weekly and a daily planner. Here's the weekly, and then in the back it has daily spreads. And so this is great if you want a lot of space to be able to mark what you're doing and what you want to get done in a lot of detail. So the cousin is overall pretty unstructured. There is a timeline here, but it's a little bit limited. So this gives you lots of room for to-do lists, schedules, whatever. I'll be showing you a more structured daily planner a little bit later. But if you are somebody who really wants to plan out your days in detail, maybe you want to do time blocking, you want to have a really detailed view of the things that you're going to be doing every day and have more space, then this is going to be good for you. So it sort of goes with, so this first question question is really getting at, what are you planning? How much detail? If it's just events, a monthly planner is great. If you want to be getting more into the nitty-gritty with events and to-dos, and also be looking at some big picture weekly things, a weekly spread is great. And if you want to get into a lot of detail with what you're going to be doing every day, making a daily plan, then a daily planner is good for you. Question 2 is, how does your brain organize information? And this question is going to help you pick what planner layout you want to use. And the most common options here are vertical, hourly, or horizontal. So with question 2, we're getting at what is the way that it's going to make the most sense for you to view this information? And this question is specifically for if you are going to be using a weekly spread. I would say that weekly planners are the most popular. This is the option that most people go with, the level of detail that makes the most sense for a lot of people. So this question, I'm just going to be focusing on weekly spreads, and there are more options than this, but the 3 most common weekly spreads are horizontal, vertical, and hourly. So I'm going to be going through planners with those options. So let's start with an hourly. This is the Erin Condren hourly layout. So this is if your brain likes to think in terms of time, and linear time is what makes the most sense for you, and hourly is a great option because this works in terms of your schedule. So it's easy to put in if you have a doctor's appointment at 10 a.m. and a meeting at 1 p.m., you can put those things in. Then you can also add to-dos that need to happen at certain times. So if you need to make dinner at 6, you can write make dinner in here. So this is really good if you really think in terms of linear time, and especially if most of the things that you have to do happen at certain times. Now, obviously you can totally ignore the times, and that works well for some people. For me, I've tried using an hourly, and the problem is that when I have things that aren't at certain times, to me that just messes with my mind. And so the hourly is a format that I love watching other people use, but I don't think is quite right for me, because just having this and not having a lot of room to put things that don't happen at specific times doesn't really work, and I hate putting things at the wrong time in case plans come up at that time. But for a lot of people, the hourly works really well because they're thinking about how they're going to use their time, how they're going to schedule out their time, and this gives you a really great weekly overview of what your week looks like, how you're going to use your time. And there's also, in this planner and a lot of others, there's some room at the bottom and at the top. So again, that's a great place where you can put something like your work schedule, your meal plan for the week, your planned workout, whatever it is that you might want to put in those spots to be able to mark off every day. And of course, there's also your sidebar. So this is a place where you could keep something like a running to-do list. So this is what an hourly layout looks like. Then similar to an hourly layout is a vertical layout. And with vertical layouts, there are definitely some variations on a theme. This is the plum paper vertical that has lines here in it. There's also something like this. This is the Erin Condren that has these 3 different boxes in it. So there's different ways that vertical planners divide up the vertical columns, but I think that this is perfect for somebody who wants to divide up what they're doing into different sections. So I used a vertical for a while, and what I would do is I would use this top box for events that were happening that day. The middle box was work to-dos, and the bottom box was personal to-dos. And that worked really well for me because I was able to divide up what I was going to be doing, and it worked well to sort of see each box had a specific purpose in it. If you're gonna use something like this plum paper one that has even more lines, you could easily, using a ruler, using a washi tape, doing it however you want, you could divide these up into a lot of different things. So you could have, your workout and your dinner plan, and then your things that are going on for the day, and then your to-do list. So lots of ways you could divide things up. So I think that something like this is a layout that's perfect if your brain is organizing things by category, and you want to have things organized in a category, but also in a way that you can see at a glance across the columns what's going on. So again, if you put your dinners in the bottom 2 for each of these, you can easily see your dinners across the view for the whole week, but you can divide this up into further things. So that's thinking about if your brain is organizing things not by time so much, but by what kind of thing it is, this might be a good layout for you. Then we have the horizontal layout, which I think is the least used. among like planner people, but I think is a really common layout. You see this in a lot of basic planners that you might pick up at a place like Target. If you also think back to like assignment notebooks and the planners that we got as kids in school, they were a horizontal layout. And I think that a horizontal layout is sometimes kind of maligned, but has a lot of merits. So this one, this is the Moxie Life horizontal, and this one has these lines and it has a lot of lines. So again, it's great. You could easily divide this up into two if you wanted to put like things going on and then your to-do list. There's also a box over here that you can, you can put something in. You could also divide this into two if you wanted to put some different things in there. So there are lots of options for how to lay this out. And so I really think that the horizontal layout is perfect for somebody if your brain is really thinking about stuff by day, but not so much by category or by time, because this lets you jumble things up a little bit more. So if you're someone where what really matters is I'm focusing on what's going on Wednesday, it really doesn't matter if the personal and professional stuff is together or the kids stuff and the chores are mixed together, whatever it is. So I think that this is perfect if your brain is categorizing things primarily by day and you just want to see what's going on Wednesday, and it doesn't matter so much how things are grouped or what order they're in. Question 3. How much structure do you want in your planner? And with this, there are some planners that are almost kind of bossy. They are going to tell you what you need to do, what you need to do every week, even every day. They're going to give you a lot of structure for how to do things. And for some people, that is exactly what they're looking for. Other people just want a blank notebook where they can write things down. So there's a huge spectrum of options here. So how much structure do you want? Do you know what you need to do, but you just need a place to put it? Or do you need a planner that is going to tell you what you need to be doing? And I would say that most planners lean towards the unstructured side, but I always want to make people aware of these more structured kind of planners. These are more unusual, but they're definitely out there. So if you're somebody who's like, you don't even know where to get started with planning and you need a planner that's going to tell you what to do, a more structured planner might be right for you. So this is the Live Rich planner from the Budget Mom, and this is an example of a more structured planner. So it does have an hourly weekly spread. So this looks kind of like what you saw in the Erin Condren, although this one has the half hours are marked in here and the time range is longer. But this is, has this regular weekly spread, but it also for each week has an additional spread that is going to like help you really lay out the other things you need to do. So you can see that this has a place to check off reviewing your pantry inventory, cleaning out your fridge. You have what meal prep you're going to do, a place for your shopping list, reminders, habits and goals, then what your main goal is for the week, your focus for the week, and then a place to reflect on your wins from the week. Then here's a place for housework. So what day you're gonna do certain things, your work to do, your personal to do. So this gives you a lot more structure. It also has a monthly budget spread, so there's a place to track your expenses and your income and your financial goals, savings, all that in this planner. So this is a planner that, again, if you're somebody who's like, I need to get more organized, I need to be more on top of things, but I don't even know what I need to do, something like this is really useful because it's saying like, okay, you should be meal prepping. There's probably housework you should be doing every day, and it gives you a place to do that. So again, this is not for everybody, but for some people, this kind of planner that's a little bit bossy is perfect. Most planners, though, are going to fall on the more unstructured side, and the ones we've already looked at would count as more unstructured ones. Something that's kind of in the middle that I'll show you, though, would be for a daily planner to, again, give you an example. So like the Hobonichi Cousin, again, it's basically a blank page. Like there is this time here, there's some checklists here, but mostly people just kind of use this as a blank slate. So it's dated, but otherwise it's pretty unstructured. As opposed to something like this is the Erin Condren Daily Duo that gives you a place for a to-do list, a place for your daily plans. So this gives you a little bit more structure because it's saying like, oh, you probably have things scheduled and you probably have things to do. But it still overall is relatively unstructured because it's not saying like, okay, what's your cleaning? What's your meal prepping? What did you spend money on today? It's not giving you those things. There's still flexibility to map that on. But again, within all of these planners, I think you're going to find examples of ones that give you more or less structure. Question 4 is, where do you want to use your planner? And this gets to what size of planner you want. There are all kinds of sizes of planners, from tiny little passport size planners to big 8.5 by 11 planners. And if you are planning to take your planner on the go, you might want something that's smaller. If you just are going to have your planner sitting on your desk, who cares how big it is as long as your desk is big enough. There is a huge range of sizes of planners. So this is the biggest and the smallest planner that I own, but there are definitely smaller planners than this. I'm not sure if there are ones that are bigger than this, but there is a really big range of sizes. So this is an 8.5 by 11 planner. So this is like full letter size sheets of paper. And this is the common planner week size, but this is the Hobonichi week size. So this is a much smaller, more compact planner. Even opened up, it's still smaller than the 8.5 by 11. So this question is thinking about where are you going to be using your planner and are you going to be taking it with you? So for example, this for me is one of the planners I'm using in 2024 that I picked because it's small and I can take it everywhere. So this is the kind of planner that I'm going to be able to take when I go to church, when I go to the doctor, and because those are situations where sometimes we're making plans and I want to see what I have going on. I really don't use my phone calendar. I really am a paper planner at heart. So I wanted something that I can throw in almost any purse. And except for one very small purse that I have, this will fit in any purse that I have. On the other hand, an 8.5 by 11 planner is not so portable. I think this would fit in my work bag because it's pretty big, but this would not be a planner that I could take many other places. Also, even for just keeping open on your desk, if you wanted to see a whole monthly view, I have a big desk and even I think I would be giving up a lot of real estate for using a planner like this. So again, this is great. If you want to have a lot of room to write things in, this is a great planner, but this is not going to be the kind of planner you're going to be taking with you. So if you want a planner to sit open on your desk or your kitchen counter, size doesn't matter so much. If you want a planner that you can take with you, size matters more. So that's the fourth thing to think about. And then question number 5 is your planner just functional or do you also want to use it as a creative outlet? So for people like me, obviously I love planner stickers, I love washi tape, I love all the things. My planner is very functional, but it's also a creative outlet. And if that's the case, your choices are going to be a little bit different than if you just want a purely functional planner where you can write down to-do lists and what your plans are. Obviously, it's no secret that I am using my planner as a creative outlet in addition to being functional. My planners are very functional and I really use them. I don't have something else going on, but obviously I'm using stickers. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So for me, thinking about what kind of planner is going to work well for using stickers in, for being a creative outlet is really important. And that's actually part of the reason why I'm going to be switching planners for 2024, because the Hobonichi, stuff like all this red shading, the different things in there, we flip to some daily pages, the weird timeline, just a lot of this, and there's quotes at the bottom that I think are kind of weird, so I'm covering those up. So a lot of this, there's just a lot going on in this planner that because I want to use stickers, isn't the best for me. And so that's why I'm switching to the common planner because it's a lot more bare bones. There isn't, if we go to a monthly view, there isn't any weird shading going on. So it's gonna work a lot better with stickers. Obviously, you could use this just with pen, and lots of people use a planner with this, like this, just with pen. So it's more of a question of if you're going to want to use a lot of stickers and pens and highlighters and washi tape and all the things, picking a planner that has a more simple layout is probably the way to go rather than a planner that already has a lot going on. So this question is more about just thinking through if you're going to want to do a lot of decorating. And for me, when I got my first planner, like as an adult, I got the colorful Erin Condren vertical, and I got the colorful because I thought, well, it's fun, it's colorful. But then I very quickly found out about planner stickers and wanted to use all the stickers, but it had a lot of color in it that I had trouble working around using the stickers, and I'd wished that I'd gotten something more neutral. So this is something to think about. If you're gonna want to be doing a lot of decorating, you probably want to gravitate towards a more neutral planner. So I hope that these questions were helpful for you in thinking through what planner you might be using in 2024. Please let me know down below what planner you are using for 2024. I love to hear it, and I love to learn about new planners that I was not familiar with before. I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I'd love if you subscribe to my channel so that you can see more videos like this one, and I will see you all again soon. Bye everyone.